Morning, everybody. It's Brian. Hope you're doing well today. It's Monday, first day back after the holiday, so 6th of July, by the way. Here for just a quick live update. We're going to run through the market, see what is on our plate for the day, see what opportunities might exist for us. So, gonna go ahead and get through. We're gonna keep it quick today. I don't have a whole lot of quote deep thoughts to talk about. Market's pretty wild, so certainly opportunity abounds for us as always. There's always opportunity out there. So let's have a look at what's going on this week. We don't really have any high impact news that we need. Oops, clicked the wrong thing here. Don't really have any high impact news that we need to worry about. We have this morning we have the manufacturing report that comes out at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central Time. But that's it. After that, the rest of the week, we don't really have any high impact reports for the USD. There is in Canada, we have the unemployment change coming up on Friday. That'll impact forex traders that may be trading the Canadian cross pairs. But beyond that, it's pretty smooth sailing during this US session. So that's nice to see. For us starting out, let's start over here in the forex side of things, and we'll move over to futures and then finish on crypto, and then give you some other updates as well. So starting out over here on the forex side of things, just having a look at where we currently are. We do see some movement. We've got a Swissy and the Euro that are both stronger currencies. Sorry, I thought I was going to sneeze. Both the Euro and the Swissy are stronger currencies. Obviously, the Euro is a little more heavily traded than the Swiss, so would look for Euro opportunities. What can we pair it against? Well, we can see right now the pound is moving fairly steeply, just now crossing through. New 5 minutes updated, so it's not even there anymore. Euro is still strong. Got the USD as a potential cross pair, and the Swiss and the CAD as a potential cross pair. Challenges coming over to those. I look at the Euro versus the CAD, and it's already moved 105 pips for the day so far. Average is anywhere from 100 to 122. Does it have the chance to really move that additional 20 that we need for it to go? It's not. Can it? As I always say, yeah, absolutely. It can do anything. It can move 300 pips for the day. But we're just looking at odds and probabilities, right? The typical range is in that 100 to 120 range, and it's already moved 100 pips. What's the level of likelihood for it to continue past that? Same with the Euro versus the USD here. We've already moved 85 pips. The average is about 70 to 90. So what's the likelihood of it moving beyond that? Can it? Yeah. But odds and probabilities, do we have a high probability trade that says, hey, this thing's got some range still left in it, let's go ahead and take it? And I don't see it. So I'm going to pass on that for today. Just kind of scanning through over on this screen, having a look at what else might be out there for potential opportunity. Not really seeing a whole lot. The USD and the CAD are kind of moving together. We can see there's similar patterns there. They're not really diverging from one another at all. So I don't really, it's moved 40 pips. Average is anywhere from 60 to 100. So, maybe there's some opportunity there, but it's not. We don't have currencies that are diverging. So we really have to hunt to find something at this point. It would be more of looking for a trade than letting something occur naturally in the marketplace and then seeing if that fits our trading criteria. I always caution against it. Don't go looking for a trade. It's like, going out in the middle of the night into a neighborhood you shouldn't be in and looking for trouble. You're going to find trouble. You can find trouble wherever you want to look. You can find a trade wherever you choose. You can always force something to happen. You can always talk yourself into something. The important thing when we're trading, have a method, have a system, have something that dictates what we do and when we do it and why we do it. Right? That's what we're looking to accomplish. So for forex, after all of that, after 3 or 4 minutes of talking about what's going on here, I feel like I'm just going to sit on the sidelines today, let the market play itself out, and see what occurs. We'll come back tomorrow and see if there's opportunities that we can participate in. All right, so with that said, let's pop over here and have a look at the futures market, see what's going on in starting with the S&P. And beginning over here with the S&P, we see that we've had a really big run up in off hours trading. So, on Thursday, which is, if you see my cursor over here on the left side of the screen, on Thursday we had non-farm payroll. And we had run up for that, hit a high, came right to this 3155, 3156 area, came right to it, repelled off, and then shorted for the rest of the day and moved down. And then on Friday, it was there was some trading occurring up until about 1 o'clock, noon 1 o'clock, and electronic trading, because the U.S. markets were closed. Things still continued to pull back a little bit on Friday. And then as the markets opened Sunday afternoon for electronic trading, Sunday afternoon for us, started with the Australasian session and electronic trading, we've seen a big rally, just blew through this 3156 up to the 3170 area, and which is where we're currently hanging out. We're currently hanging up here at 3170, and we'll see what happens as the new market session begins. The actual regular trading hours begin here in about an hour and 15 minutes. We'll see what comes of that. The trend is up. We look at the 4-hour bias, it's long. We look at the 30-minute bias, and that's long as well. So that would tell us that we want to look for long trading opportunities. Do we want to go long from 3070? Oh, that's one of those like, oh my gosh, it's up here so high. I don't know if we really want to take a trade at the very top of that range. It's definitely making new highs from when we first had our pullback with the coronavirus news back in February. So this is the highest we've been in months, and we're hanging around a pretty key area. It's rejected it a couple of times. We'll see if we can break through. Trading with the trend would tell us if we break 3170, we'd continue to look for long trading opportunities. If we're looking to trade a long breakout from a key area, which is 3170, yeah, we'd certainly go long off of that. The other way to look at it would be see if we can pull back to another key area. Can we pull back to this 3155, 3150 area right here, which isn't that far, really, when you think about it. It would just be a quick 16 points pull back. Can we pull back to this 3150 and play off of a key level here, 31, even down to, it's not marked, 3140. Even looking here, you see these tops that are rejected, 3140, and then of course 3125 as we get further down. If we pull back to those key areas, or those, would that be a better level to look to buy from? Now that requires us to be able to buy in the face of a big red candle. If it's pulling back to one of these key levels, we're going to see a lot of red, and we'd have to be willing to buy into that key level. The other way of going, so that's a bounce. So we're looking at a breakout, which would be buying if it breaks above 3170. That would be a buy on a breakout. Buying on a bounce would be letting it pull back to a key area, like this 3150, 3140, 3125 would be pull back to a key area and buying the bounce. Or another way to go at it, which is the way I talk about quite a bit, and this is the way that we're actually running that small account challenge on, is just to wait for it to pull back on the 30-minute, making lower highs and lower lows, and then watching over here on the 5-minute especially as we get to a key area, and looking to time our entry as we break above a previously closed lower high or lower low. So there's a few ways to go about it, but we would certainly be looking in the long direction, because that's what our trends tell us right now. We say we're long. We look at the bias in the 4-hour, bias in the 30-minute, we're certainly long. Now, there is the counter trend side of things that says, man, we're at an all-time high. We're coming off of, increased cases of coronavirus. We still don't know what's going on, as far as earnings for companies out there. The other shoe's about to drop. So there is the counter side of all of this to say, hey, where are some counter trend trading opportunities? And we don't talk about them a lot, simply because, especially for the small account challenge, we're trying to just show consistency in applying a specific method and seeing what that does for us over the longer term. However, with that said, 3170, big key area on the 4 hour, and that could certainly be an area to look at for potential a potential reversal. So I'm not going to do any counter trend trades today in the small account challenge, but it's something to keep in mind. If we can't break above that 3170 area, that might be, if you're looking for something counter trend, and be prepared to be wrong. I mean, have your stop loss above it so that if it just bursts through there and this current move continues on, to the moon, you don't get totally burned by it. But certainly for those that look at counter trends, wouldn't hurt to look at that 3170, 3175 as a top level, and play a reversal off of that top edge. But it is counter trend, and one thing we talk about a lot here, and I totally believe in, is over the long run, trading with the trend is the best way to trade, because you're not trying to stop that train, right? Train's moving. It doesn't stop, on a dime. It takes the time. So really you're better off trading with that trend and just, like I said before, be the flea on the elephant's back. Don't be the bug that's trying to jump up in front of it and make it move, because you're going to get squashed, right? So anyway, we've talked about a few different ways to look at the S&P this morning, but long and short of it is we're in a long bias. All right, coming back over here, what's happening in crude? Crude as well is in a long bias. We finally broke above that. Finally broke above 40, and we've stayed above 40, and we're continuing to look long on crude opportunities here as well. We're pulling back a little bit right now, so as we come back to these key areas around 40, 50, even down to 40 would be spots to look for buying opportunities off of. Breakouts would be above 41. If we really get some momentum here and break above 41, that would be the next spot to trade on an actual breakout style of trading. And gold is a little bit of a mixed bias. No, it's not. Gold should be in a long. Yeah, gold's in a long bias. So gold is also in a long bias right now. We're making one heck of a run back towards 1800 here. We'll see if we can get there. 4 hours long, 30-minute has just now crossed over and is pushing long as well. Ways to trade it: wait for a pullback. As we come back down to, if we pull back to 1790, even back down to 1780, 85 area would be a spot to look at for bounces on gold. So a couple different ways of looking at that. In crypto, we were hanging below this 230 on Ethereum, hanging below 9170 on Bitcoin. We saw reversals off of those key levels quite a bit, but then this morning we've really broken through and started heading back into the potentially a long position again. However, with that said, and for Ethereum especially, until this closes above, right now we're technically still on a short bias. Although this closes above here, we'll see that change. The bias will change over here on Ethereum. On Bitcoin, the bias is still short. So on ETH, if this does switch over and we get that close confirmed crossover here between the different moving averages, and we close and this becomes a long bias, then we'd look to buy off of pullbacks down to around 220, even down here. What the heck? I don't know what happened to my charts. That's really odd that we have that. This should be higher. So we'll look to buy, off of pullbacks to. I don't know why this green number is here. That's kind of strange. I'll have to dive in. I was making some changes to my charts this morning. Something must have stuck on here. Anyway, so we'd be looking for pullbacks down to this 233 area, 231 area, all the way down to 230. If this does cross over. For Bitcoin, we're still looking for short opportunities, so we'd be looking to sell sell off of these areas, up here top edge around 92.75, or if we break down, especially if we break through this 91.70, we'd look to continue to sell and take that short. Of course, always trade with a stop loss, because this could change. The thing I'm really thinking about here with the cryptocurrencies is they've been tracking with indexes a little more than we'd seen that in the past. If everything falls out of the S&P, out of the Dow, we could certainly see this flip over, roll over on us. So we'll keep an eye on that and see what actually happens with it. But for now, we've got mixed bias between they're both short right now for ETH and Bitcoin, but I think as this next candle closes, ETH is going to flip to a long bias while Bitcoin is still a short bias. So don't try to front run it. Just be cautious. Let's let the market do its thing. It's the first day back after a holiday weekend, and so a long trading weekend. So anything can happen. We'll certainly watch the market and participate as our trading plans allow us to. If you're looking at reversals, that's awesome, but have a plan of how you're going to trade it. Don't just come in and go, oh, my gut tells me this is going to happen. Have a plan for how you're going to execute that trade. Same with trading with the trend. You need to have a plan that way as well. But a lot of people, when they start looking for reversals, they're doing it out of emotion more than out of a plan. So make sure you've got a plan, work the plan. That's what we're going to do today. We've got a plan. We're going to trade with the trend, and if things totally reverse on us, that's fine. We just don't take a trade. So we'll trade with the trend and see what happens. And if we have trading opportunities, I'll certainly let you know what they were and how they were traded, and we'll go from there. All right, so that's it for now for that. I did get that script I've been working on with a programmer. I just got it hour and a half ago is when I loaded it onto my charts to start back testing it. It's a script that looks for the trend and then trades the pullback based on previous, if it's an upward trend on the previous lower highs, lower lows, and then waits for breakout from there. So it's a breakout strategy, but based on that little more complex movement. Once I kind of figure out how that's going to look and what the settings are initially and whatnot, and then I start testing on a demo account, I'll roll it out for those of you that want it, and make it available to you on TradingView, and you guys can start testing it as well to see how that looks and works out. All right, so I'll keep you updated this week on how that's going. All right, so that's it for now. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon. Man, gold's making one heck of a push. I just caught this big green candle out of the corner of my eye. So that's it for now. Have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.